We can't pretend that celebrities changing their looks is something shocking to us anymore. It happens all the time. Whether it's plastic surgery, a totally new style, weight gain or loss, celebrities are always changing up their looks and we are the first to know about it. Today on Beyond the Screen, we are checking out 10 celebrities who drastically changed their looks. I'm your host for this one, I'm Joss Bedard. Make sure you guys stick around to the end if you want to catch the comment features. You can also come say hi on social media, our links are down below. And to see more of what we do, click the playlist right up here. But for now, let's get to this part 10 list. In our number 10 spot is Lil' Kim. In 2016, she posted a photo of her new look on Instagram and people were shocked at how drastic the change in her appearance was, especially when comparing it to her early days. She's almost unrecognizable with her dramatically different hair, different skin tone, and totally different face shape. Fans started tweeting that they thought she was perfect the way she was before and that they feel like they don't even know her now. A board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Jennifer Levine, weighed in on the difference and said, "It's clear that there has been some skin bleaching." Kim also would have had to have surgery to remove the fat, skin, and tissue to create her new eye shape. But despite the critiques and comments, Kim said she is unbothered and that she loves the way she looks now. This was all 4 years ago though. She's actually now rocking black hair and has a darker skin tone again, but still looks wildly different than the beginning of her career. Next up at number 9 is Jonah Hill. The actor did one of the most honest interviews of his career back in 2018 when he went on The Ellen Show and talked about his weight loss. Fans were shocked to see him 40 pounds lighter, giving him a completely different look. He opened up about wanting to change his body, saying that because he grew up in the spotlight, he was always criticized for his body and people told him that he was fat and unattractive. A lot of his movie roles that he took on were the fat and unattractive friend. That was like always his humor and go-to character if you think back on his movies. Like, just is what it is. He spoke to Ellen and said, "I spent most of my young adult life listening to people say I was fat, gross, unattractive. I've started to understand how much that hurt and got into my head." He explained that his weight loss didn't come from some magic pill, but that his diet was the problem. He went to see a nutritionist and worked on changing his bad habits. He also began a consistent exercise routine, which he said he had to work up to slowly, day by day. His overall look has changed, which also means that the roles he plays has changed, which is ultimately what he wanted for his career. Sliding into the number 8 spot is Miley Cyrus. Her look is constantly changing and she has had some of the most dramatic changes simply because people still look at her as Disney's Hannah Montana. For years, people saw her with long brown hair as Miley and then a long blonde wig as Hannah Montana. So even when she cut her hair shorter as a brunette, people saw it as like this huge change. But what shocked people the most was when she started covering herself in tattoos and she chopped all her hair off into a pixie cut. I've actually never seen a haircut go viral the way that haircut did. The pictures of her haircut were all over the internet and it was all anyone could talk about. People were freaking out. I was one of them. But with that haircut also came a drastic change in character and behavior from the outside looking in anyways. It seemed like it was her way of breaking free from that Disney persona once and for all and she could finally just do whatever she wanted and look how she wanted to. Since then, she's changed up her look a few different times. Last year, she grew out her blonde hair and had a whole country vibe going, and now she chopped her hair into a mullet and gave herself bangs. So she's always changing her look. In spot number 7 is Farrah Abraham. The Teen Mom star is by far the most honest celebrity when it comes to her plastic surgery journey. A little too honest sometimes, as she has faced tons of criticism for getting bum injections with her daughter in the room and live streaming it for her followers. True story, I caught one of them one time and her daughter is like 8. Over the years, she has completely changed her look, getting a large amount of plastic surgery done to change the shape of her body and also her face. Fans who started following her at the beginning of Teen Mom would hardly recognize her today. She openly talks about the work she's had done, like enlarging her breasts, enlarging her butt, getting her lips done, and getting other work done on her face. She's not ashamed of these drastic changes she has made, and despite people saying that she's leading a bad example for her daughter, she's not fazed by these comments. She continues to change her look and her overall behavior. What shocked fans the most was when she started doing work in the porn industry, filming videos, and creating her own line of sex toys. Moving on to spot number 6 is Heidi Montag. You may have thought that Farrah had more plastic surgery done than anyone else on our list, but that is where Heidi comes in. The Hill star made news for undergoing one of the most invasive plastic surgery experiences anyone has ever seen. She underwent 10 surgeries in one day, which is often unheard of and oftentimes not recommended. I don't know why these doctors let this happen. Shame on them. Her surgeries were not some small cosmetic surgeries either. They were very big surgeries that actually left her unresponsive on the table at one point, where the doctors did not think she was going to make it. Her long list of surgeries include a brow lift, Botox in her face, a nose job, a chin reduction, fat injections in the cheeks, ears pinned back, nasolabial folds, lip, neck, waist, hip, and thigh liposuction, breast implants to a size F, a butt augmentation, and her back curved. Heidi said at the time she actually wanted to look like Barbie and wanted a size H for her breasts, but that they would not fit. Since the surgery, she has spoken up about it and said she regrets it more than anything and wants to encourage people to think twice before getting any kind of work done. She said she felt the pressure of Hollywood at the time and that she wishes she could go back in time and take it all back. We've made it halfway through. At number 5 is Macaulay Culkin. He was once the most famous child star in Hollywood after taking on the iconic role as Kevin in the Home Alone movies. People were probably convinced at the time that he was going to continue to be one of the biggest actors of all time. But then he fell off the map and we didn't hear from him for years. Fans were shocked in 2004 when his mugshot was being shared all over the world after he was charged with possession of marijuana and a controlled substance without a prescription. After that, the only news we ever heard about him was claims that he was struggling with a drug addiction. In 2012, photos started surfacing and he looked very thin, frail, and very, very different. He was never overweight to begin with, but you could tell that he lost a lot of weight and just looked unrecognizable. In more recent years, he has returned to Hollywood, but not in the same way as before. His hair is now really long and his look is completely different than people were ever used to seeing. He doesn't seem to mind though. He still lives a very quiet lifestyle and says that he tries to avoid paparazzi at all costs. Here now at number 4 is Kylie Jenner. If you haven't followed the Kardashians, then you may have thought that Kylie just always looked the way she does now. Or maybe you're thinking there's no way you could ever think that because the work she's had done is pretty obvious. But some people don't realize just how drastic her change has been. Not that I encourage it or think that it is a kind thing to do, but people have made memes about her transformation because she looks like two totally different people. Kylie pictures before cosmetic surgery and makeup would have you convinced that that is not actually her. She has been open about some of her changes, the biggest one being her lips. She said she was always very insecure about her lips, so she actually got her first injections when she was just a teenager. On top of that, her body shape is wildly different, mainly because the majority of it is fake. Her breast and butt augmentations are often talked about because they aren't realistic, mainly because she changed the shape of her body practically overnight. And we all know achieving a body shape like hers would not come naturally like that overnight. Like, how do you nicely say like everything's fake? Taking over our 3rd spot is Janet Jackson. Back in 2019, articles started referring to Janet as a plastic princess after she underwent some plastic surgery. People were stunned as she looked unrecognizable when she stepped out to honor her brother's 10-year anniversary of his passing. The 53-year-old at the time looked totally different, and 3 of the nation's leading plastic surgeons came forward and explained the type of work they think she had done. The overall consensus was that she's had a facelift, eyelid lift, multiple nose jobs, filler, and Botox. One of them said, "Most recently I would say that her face has changed dramatically and I believe she's had eyelid surgery as well as an eyebrow lift." But this is not the first time that she's had work done. People have called her out in the past for altering her looks, but now the changes seem to be more drastic and her face looks more defined and just more fake. And that's not to be rude, it's just that her skin looks tighter and more smooth than her neck and the rest of her body, so the difference is just more obvious according to these surgeons. I mean, sorry to say it. And spot number 2 is Khloe Kardashian. The girl gets a lot of hate for editing her photos and using filters that make her look like a totally different person online than in real life. But her looks have drastically changed in real life too, and she's proud of them. Khloe has opened up during interviews explaining that she's always been called the ugly fat sister out of all of her sisters, and she decided that she wanted to do something about it. She ended up losing a significant amount of weight, which changed her overall body image. It even led to her having her own reality show called Revenge Body, where she helped other people reach their weight goals. Now, there's no denying that she's also had some work done to her body and face on top of the weight loss, so many people would say that she has had the biggest change out of all of her sisters. Her change might even be more drastic than her sister Kylie, who is also on this list. What do you guys think? Let's open it up to debate. In spot number 1 is Adele. Celebrities lose weight all the time, right? So why do people have such an issue when Adele loses weight? I have never seen someone's weight loss make headlines the way that hers has. She flaunted her new body on Instagram, which showed she lost a lot of weight, naturally making her look a lot different. But people had a problem with her weight loss and have spent months criticizing her for it. Things got so bad that her personal trainer, Pete Garasimo, came forward and said when they started working together on her weight loss journey, her goal was to never be skinny, it was to be healthy. She does look drastically different in comparison to the beginning of her career, but she also said that she's the happiest she's ever been, and professionals have come forward saying that her weight loss is not a threat to her health. Adele has even shared her workout and diet plan details during interviews to help others who are also trying to reach their health goals. She looks great! God, leave her alone, she looks amazing. Alright guys, that is our list. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down in those comments. You might get a shout out in our next video, and leave a like if you enjoyed it. But for now, I'm gonna read some comments from celebrities who destroyed their career in seconds 2020 part 2. Edward Angeles says, "Where's the scrunchie? Have not seen it for a while, Joss." I know, I have been wearing them on my wrist, but sometimes they're under my sweaters. Not today, but sometimes. Jassy Jones says that Hillary Duff rumor was out of control and just wrong to think of. Facts. I agree. I don't know how people come up with this stuff. It's almost creepy. Twice One says, "Love you guys. Thank you for helping me through this pandemic." Honestly, we need to thank you for helping us through this pandemic, because we wouldn't be able to make videos if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you. Karen Rose says, "Most of the people on this list need to have a career to lose it." Shots fired. A lot of you guys were saying that. Feisty. Y'all were feisty in those comments. Alright guys, that is all I have. Subscribe and ring the bell to hang out with us every day. I was your host Joss. I will see you next time.